What's going on, guys? I am Jaye Black. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. I wanted to talk about this situation with Kobe. Now, MSNBC news anchor Alison Morris is being forced to apologize. And the reason why I say she's being forced, because when you look at her tweet, it's actually a half-hearted, almost damn near non-apology. Because she's explaining and lying at the same time, okay? She's not being honest about what she said, okay? Now, let's get into the article from the Washington Examiner so I can give y'all better context. But before I do that, I'm actually going to tell you about the live stream I did last night in regards to Kobe Bryant. I'll put a link in the description. Y'all go and check that check out that live stream. Also, I will put a link in the description box to the video of her saying what she's saying. If I can't find it, then it won't be in the description box. But I want y'all to go hear the audio for yourself and judge as to whether or not this woman said what she said. Now, according to the Washington Examiner, it says MSNBC anchor Alison Morris apologized for a slip of the tongue made it sound as though she referred to Los Angeles Lakers as the Los Angeles N-words. Morris, who's 40, was covering the tragic situation with Kobe and his daughter when the slip up occurred. The anchor was describing Bryant's legacy and career in Los Angeles when she appeared to use the slur. And this was the tweet that she put out in response to people going off on her. She said, earlier today, while reporting on the tragic news of Kobe Bryant's passing, I unfortunately stuttered on air, combining the names of the Knicks and the Lakers to say the Nakers, which is what she did not say. I played the audio multiple times on the show. That's not what she said. Please know I did not and would never use that term. I apologize for the confusion this caused. Once again, it's an apology, non-apology. But I want y'all to understand that people like this, especially these liberal females, they don't like people like Kobe. You know, people are bringing up what happened in Colorado back in 2003. But I think it's deeper than that. I think it's because of what Kobe Bryant stands for. This is a guy who, lived in his early years in Italy, was drafted, high as a 17-year-old, and a guy who achieved a lot through his long career. He's been married for over 20 years. He has 4 daughters, or he had 4 daughters. He's a man's man. He's a guy who's respected. He's a guy who's going to look you in the eyes. He's a guy who's going to carry himself a certain way. And that bothers people like Alison Morris. Not only her, but there was a reporter from the Washington Post that was suspended for bringing up Kobe Bryant's case back in 2003, which did not go to trial because the woman was not being truthful. Okay? She just wanted some money at the end of the day, and that's what we're going to go off of because that is what is proven. Okay? Now, you got all these liberal-minded feminists who don't like men like Kobe because, one, Kobe is not super political. Okay, he's not going to be out here talking about his political leanings, going at the president. That's not who Kobe was. Okay, he did what he wanted to do. He wasn't controlled by Twitter. He wasn't controlled by social media like some of these other athletes are. And that bothers them, even though Kobe Bryant was an advocate for women in sports. But that wasn't enough for them to disrespect this man once he's gone. It's just like the video of the guy who was standing in front of the Charlotte Hornets arena and he was disrespecting Kobe. Now, apparently this guy knows Joe Rogan. I mean, who cares? I said the guy might have been homeless, and I truly believe that. You're standing out in the middle of the day in Charlotte, North Carolina, in front of their arena, looking like you sleep somewhere near there, outside, making that video because of jealousy. You have a lot of these underachieving, non-melanated people who feel some type of way about a Kobe Bryant because they're failures, and because they have failed their entire life, they want to be upset and angry at other people of other groups who succeed. I mean, all you have to do is stop being lazy and do something. Pick yourself up by the bootstraps. But when it comes to Alison Morris, you can take a look at this woman and you can tell what type of person this is. This is a 40-year-old person. She's walking around with the Captain Marvel haircut. She's one of these left-leaning anchors, okay, who talk about how Trump is this and Trump is that. Oh, he doesn't like minorities and he doesn't like women. But she's live on air saying the N-word. And when you listen to the audio, how can you not know what you're saying? How can you not know that you are about to say what you're saying? Because when she said Los Angeles, she paused and then said the N-word. It was as if she was trying to say it, because that is the contempt that they have for guys like Kobe. They have contempt for him. A guy who can speak fluent Italian. A guy who was pretty much with the same woman his whole career. A guy who is highly respected by his peers and by fans and by other people as well, either be in the business world, the tech world, because he did an interview with Marcus Brownlee I thought was very interesting and cool. But that's the contempt that people like this have for Kobe. They have this contempt that you can just tell. How do you mess that up? You are a professional. You got the job that you have because you could handle yourself professionally. Okay? Now, I know screw ups happen, but you're supposed to be intelligent and articulate to be able to not make these type of mistakes. The reason why it was on the tip of your tongue is because you say that word behind the backs of all the melanated people that you work with, the people that you come in contact with. You say that a lot behind their back because you're cowardly. You would never say it to their face. You will never show them who you truly are because you hide behind them when it's political season. You hide behind them to go at the president or anybody else you don't like that is not melanated. Ain't that right, Alison? You're deserving the backlash that you're getting because this is something that never should have happened. You're a professional. You have an anchor job. You're not supposed to screw up this bad. It was on the tip of your tongue because it was in your mind. People got to understand psychology. If something is in the front of your mind, eventually you're going to say that word. You know how when we're reading something and we mispronounce a word, replace it with something else? That's because that word was a word that we're used to saying. We don't blurt out things that we're not used to saying. You're used to saying that word. That is why it was easy for you to blurt it out, because you're used to saying it, but you're used to saying it behind people's back. You're used to saying it in conversations with the people around you. So I want people to understand, man, when you're dealing with people like this who know they messed up but are still gonna try. That's why I say she was forced to apologize, because even in the tweet, she knows that that's not what she said, but she has to say something because the network is like, listen, man, we don't want to look like, we don't like melanated people. We may not, but we don't want the public perception to be that we don't like black people. So you need to tweet something. That's the only reason why she tweeted. She probably wouldn't even say anything, And I don't even think she said anything on air. When they came back from that segment, she didn't take the time to really, apologize in that moment. She went on Twitter to do it because she didn't think it was important enough to say it on TV. Listen, I'm not one of these people who is going to get mad at every single thing that Caucasian people say about black people. I'm not one of those people. I'm not thin-skinned. But when you're talking about Kobe, show some respect. Okay? The reason why you blurred out what you blurred out is because that's what you were thinking during that whole segment. You have notes. You've been, working on this topic for hours. How do you mess up this bad? It's because that's what was in your mind. That's what you think of Kobe. That's what you think of athletes. That's what you think of them. You have that job for a reason because you can do that job. But you messed up royally. You showed people just your mindset and who you are. Who says the N-word like that and then say that they don't use that word? That's BS. We always, if we make people who make mishaps in saying certain words or calling people, how you're speaking to somebody, right? And you end up calling them the wrong name. You call them the name of what you're familiar with instead of what their actual name is. Maybe because their name is similar to another name that you've of a person that you've known for a long time. I'm pretty sure some of us has made those type of mistakes, right? But I mean, this to me just shows your ignorance. It shows the fact that that's what you feel about Kobe. That's how you feel about pro athletes. And I don't care how liberal she may be, this is who she is. And she will not get any sympathy. She will not get any benefit of the doubt from me because she, in that moment, could have adjusted but never did. She paused in between saying Los Angeles and then saying N-words. How do you screw up that badly? Either unless you wanted to screw up or in that moment, that's just what you were thinking. I don't know if you were reading a text message you just got that threw you off, but to me, you don't get the benefit of the doubt in this situation. You really don't. Show some respect to Kobe. Because if you want people to show respect towards people who look like you who passed, you should do the same. But in this situation, I truly feel that you have no respect for Kobe. And you didn't. The people who you brought on your show showed respect, but you didn't. You probably couldn't wait to disrespect this man. That's why you got reporters getting suspended. This is why you got on Twitter, you have these same females disrespecting Kobe because they don't have any respect for him. They don't like him. They're holding on to something that happened in 2003. But what about all these non-melanated men who gotten away with things? You're not constantly bringing that up because it's easy to go at us. It's easy to go at us. It's easy to talk about how we're the bad guys. It's easy to denigrate us. Okay? And you know what? We understand that. We as melanated men understand that we don't have any friends out here. We're pretty much on our own. And you know what? As time has gone on, we prefer that because we've gained such thick skin that we see things for what it is. Like me, I see people for who they truly are. I don't try to see a brighter side of anything. If you show me who you are, that's who you are. And I'm going to have my perception until you prove otherwise. That is how I deal with people like Alison Morris.